Hello, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural first annual, first anniversary wordsness podcast.
First-ish, yes.
Yeah, there you go. First-ish, or, .5 podcast of the name upon which we haven't created yet. Or just called it that.
It's the prequel to the sequel to the podcast that came out last week that's going to be coming out next week.
There you go. I am Average Gamer, aka Rob, and with me is my brother from down the street, the brother from another mother, the Bohemian pirate himself. Holy crap, a firework just went off by my window. It's Canada Day, everybody, so if you start hearing explosions, it's not a real-life mech warrior, it's just like, holy shit, it's my neighbors. Okay.
Yeah, well, they're only celebrating because the polar bear wrestling in the town square went so well today.
It did. That means 5 more weeks of summer.
Right. Yeah, 5 more whole weeks. It's unbelievable. We never usually get 5 weeks.
I know. We usually get like 5 days.
It's usually that one ray of sunshine comes out and then it's back to the tundra.
Exactly. The beaver. Then we got to sacrifice the beaver to the almighty hockey god.
Right. Yeah, with an ice skate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just slice.
It's the best way to really get results when you're trying to get mild winters.
Exactly. I slice the beaver tail off, then dip it in marshmallows. Fuck, I totally screwed that joke up. Gotta dip it in maple syrup. Fuck. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so with me is the Baron, a.k.a. Mr. Jonas. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you today, Rob?
Pretty good. It makes it sound so professional, even though we've already been talking for like the last hour.
Yeah, it puts it all together.
I know, it makes it sound so professional. So, what we're doing today is we're basically, if you're listening to this, we're going to be talking about Mech Warrior, all things Mech Warrior, and, Jonas and his large braininess of mechness, and my lack thereof.
I like
shit,
it when you talk about my large brain.
Yeah, that's what she said. Just as I did that, I stood up and I started twinking my monitor, and it turned off. Remember this whole thing about WD-40 on the monitor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just... Damn it. Damn it. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, we are very, very professional. This is a professional podcast, and just ignore the sound of me right now tweaking my... There we go. Okay, it's back on. Okay, we're good.
Perfect.
Okay. So, anyway, we're going to be talking about all things Mech Warrior online and things we like, don't like, rants, stuff like that.
What topics do we have on the list today? Why don't we list them off before we get started, and then we can sort of dig in?
You are so professional. One of us has to, I guess. So the first thing I put on was Clan versus the IS is like Mac versus PC.
Yes, absolutely. I like that. It's true.
It's so true. It's so true. Now that I think about it. By the way, I changed that to our first topic.
That's a good warm-up.
Well, it is when you think about it, right? Like, I mean, mechs are like aerodynamic. They're all robot-y, and you really just don't like them, just like the clans. PCs are always
they have all those smooth edges, and they look like the girlfriend in WALL-E, and meanwhile, Innersphere mechs look like Wally or something in the pile.
Yeah, exactly. And PCs are always crashing and falling apart. I mean, I got 2 of them. Wow, I think we just hit... Wait, I just realized something. Do you think Steve Jobs is dead, or he left the planet?
Oh, that's a good question, man. Maybe he lives inside the...
Or he's at the bottom of the sea right now.
Yeah. Maybe he lives at the bottom of the sea with a connection to the cloud.
Or maybe his brain is the cloud. He's just slowly sucking in all the energy. That's why it crashed.
That's what it was. He didn't die. He just evolved.
Exactly. He is the cloud.
Steve Jobs is the singularity. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, there you go. Then now you're just going to drop your headset and walk away. That explains why it all crashed today, though, at work.
Yep, that's why.
He
had a brain fart.
Yeah, he's just like, fuck it, I'm done for the day.
When Steve Jobs signs off, Apple is done for the day.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes so much sense. Speaking of done for the day, so I signed in today for the first time in a week and a half, and I saw the 2C pack.
Yes, the 2C pack. Let's talk about the 2C pack.
Yeah, it's not Inner Sphere, but it is, but it isn't. And the mech I want is now a clan mech, and I feel dirty.
Well, it's so funny because for lore junkies like me, I could tell you all about the lore of the tabletop era and the 2C series of battle mechs as they pertain to the old system, but I don't know how much relevance it has to the current system. So the way we're working it with the MWO system is that we have Intersphere mechs, which are necessarily low-tech. We have clan mechs, which are necessarily high-tech, and they're Omni mechs. Now, the chief difference in tabletop between Omni mechs and regular Intersphere mechs is that Omni mechs could be customized, and Intersphere mechs could not be customized. They just had to use the stock loadout they came with in the book. You couldn't change them in any way unless you were in Solaris at the Gladiator Arena. That was the only time you could alter your mechs. With that in mind,
I gotta bug you for a second. I can hear like you breathe, like I can hear pop, like popping sounds when you talk.
Oh, I'm probably too close to the mic. Is that better?
Are you passionate? You are. I'll turn
a little bit, but mostly I have asthma.
It's just your asthma. I swear to God, it's just asthma.
That's terrible. It's this new headset mic too. It was very close to my face. I'm still figuring out the right distance for a good sound. Yeah,
I could hear it as you were talking. As you were getting louder and louder. Like I could start hearing popping noises on the mic.
Oh man. Okay. So as I was saying, so the Intersphere had the low tech. The clan had the high tech, and the main advantage of clan tech was you could customize it, whereas with Intersphere you could not. So, with that in mind, when they brought out the 2C series of mechs, the idea was for that clan units could field a lower battle value, points total, so that the Intersphere could still use their because the Omni mechs were so ridiculously overpowered that the Omni mechs were so ridiculously overpowered that they would have a high battle value, and so you couldn't really build a unit with mixed infantry and armor and play it against a clan star of Omni mechs because there'd be no way. You'd have to field so many units, it would be ridiculous. It would just be like a mess.
Yeah, and so and the way they got it now
the 2C mechs were sort of brought forward so that they could do that.
Yeah, and the way they have it now, it's still kind of one-sided, right? Like every time you try to fight a group of 12 clanners, you're kind of SOL when it comes to range and stuff in community warfare.
Absolutely. And the irony of that, of course, being that in the lore, again, to go back to the lore, the clanners never fought 12 versus 12. They would have considered that Zellbriggen in a violation of their... you have to always give the battle to the lowest bidder who thinks they can take the planet with the least amount of resources. Yeah. So if you want to bring life back into community warfare, give the clanners a bidding system. Let them bid for the planets and say, I think I can take this planet with this many mechs. Yeah, but and whoever votes lowest gets to go.
Which makes sense, but at the same time, right, I mean, you and I have been playing community warfare against people, and I mean, I think it's ironic that they're not the most honorable people when playing against them. Because, I mean, I'm not saying all of them are like that, mind you, because I don't want to get in trouble. Right. Just that, just certain groups, just kind of they'll spawn camp, or they'll all run specific types of mechs with specific builds to kind of ruin the fun for everybody, right?
Hence the meta, as they say.
Yeah, pre-builds. Yeah.
And so you have to defeat these by gradually taking away the problem. Now, the best answer to this solution is to actually implement a battle value, and that's the next thing that I think that they're planning on doing in the next little while that will allow these new 2C mechs. See, the new 2C mechs that are coming out are going to have the customizable engines and such of the Intersphere mechs, but also with the technology of the clan mechs. So with that in mind, you've got to factor in that they're going to be ridiculously overpowered because they're going to have the best of both worlds. However, if they institute a battle value system, you'll never see overpowered mechs going against underpowered mechs. They will be lined up way more to account to their abilities than to account to the player's skill. And
they'll probably take lead low in effect, so people like me who are really shitty with good mechs, can still play against shitty people.
Oh yeah, that'll be to effect to some degree, but I mean, the best
you agreed to that way too fast.
The best way to deal with that, though, I was just saying in principle, the best way to deal with that would
in principle, I totally suck balls.
Say again?
In principle, I totally suck. There's no principle.
Like
There's
your
no theory.
principles?
There's no Oh, fuck, I got no principles. You know who I voted for in the last election? Please.
At least you own it.
Hey, I own it. Hey, we got tanks out of the deal, okay?
I give you plenty of respect for owning it, man. I give you plenty of respect for owning it.
All I could see was, what? You want to give our army tanks? Okay, I'll vote for you. You and your sweater.
Come on. If you wanted tanks, you should have voted for the communists. What are you doing, man?
No, because they give
Communists
us...
love tank. Communists love tank.
Yeah, but they'll get us
Tank
like
is
little...
good.
Yeah, but if they do anything with the Russians do with tanks, there'll be these little small things that only people that are like 5'2" can fit in. Do you hear what's going?
You have to have like 1 billion of them.
Do you hear what's going on in China though? The problem they're having there is that most of their troops are now too tall for their tanks that they bought from the Russians.
Oh man, really? Because they're all getting good protein in their diets and stuff these days.
Yeah, so they're actually becoming taller and bigger. And now the reason why the Chinese government has to spend so much money on the military now is to actually retrofit all the equipment and clothing and everything to actually bring everything back up to standard. So like 80% of their tank forces and armored corps is now completely ineffective because people can't fit in their vehicles anymore. Yeah.
So bizarre.
Yeah. So much for the fucking, scary Chinese.
Well, I mean, they're one short step away from a breeding program to have people the right size.
Yeah, well, there you go. They had No Child Left Behind, or no, that was the Americans. They're still evil too. But the one child policy or whatever.
Yeah, the one child law, absolutely, yeah.
Hey, it's close enough.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They're both evil empires.
The one child left behind rule.
Yeah, exactly. If you have 2 children, just leave one of them behind. Leave him at the KFC or the...
Just leave one behind.
Yeah, leave him at the 7-Eleven. He'll be fine. It's open 24 hours a day. He can
You're
be there.
a convenient homeless person, whatever. Like...
Exactly. I mean, there's so many of them around. They can use a child for entertainment.
Especially in China. Lots of homeless people in China.
Oh, I know. It's like freaking I wonder if you took the population of Canada and the population of China and took the amount of the people that are homeless in China, if it was larger or smaller than the population of Canada.
I think it would be very small. I mean, it's a communist country. I mean, I guess you could be homeless if you want, but I don't think you have to really worry about that compared to a lot of other places in the world.
True. Like
that have less infrastructure. Because when I was in Cuba, there were very few homeless people in Cuba. It was, it was still very poor there, but everybody had somewhere to live and a job.
Yeah. True. So where were we before I kind of got us off topic?
We were talking about the 2C Max and the battle value system. As I say, the battle value system in old tabletop accounted for things that we couldn't account for in the current ELO system of MechWarrior.
Yeah.
However, player skill and ability counts for a lot more in MechWarrior than it did in the tabletop system. So it still has to be a factor, but it needs to be weighted. We need to incentivize the poor mechs somehow. So you can either give people more bonuses for using crappier mechs, or you can just acknowledge that each mech has its own potential battle value, and you can probably calculate it mathematically from computer computations on what damage it deals, how fast it goes, all the different ratios.
Yeah, hire Brent Spiner.
Sure, myriad and complex, but still, functional, right? Yeah. And so you just get data to take care of it, and and he there you go, get off track. That's so funny. But yeah, you take that data and compile it and make a referenceable battle value system, so that if a guy is taking a locust, he's not going to get matched up with a bunch of fire starters on the opposite side. He's going to get matched up with other people in locusts. And it's going to worry less about how good those people in locusts are, because it doesn't matter if you're the world's greatest pilot. If you're driving a locust, it's still a locust, right? Come on.
That's kind of like the way they use the battle system when it comes to World of Tanks. Where if you're in a tier 1 tank, okay, so you have a set value. A tier 1 tank, German tier 1 tank is worth, say, 2 points. It then looks at your skills and your upgrades to the tank and will either, it will then maybe give a point or two. So say, okay, well now you're actually a 0.4, you're worth 4 points. And then it'll look at your record and say, okay, you're shitty. You haven't won a game in 8 months. Not that it's looking at mine or anything. and it'll be like, okay, Well, you're now a -3. So now your, life tractor is worth 1 point. Each team can have 24 points, say, for example, or 16
And that's exactly like the old tabletop battle value system, which was a little more numbery, but basically the same. Like the values were higher, but it amounted to the same thing. And in the tabletop, ended up making for pretty balanced games. Like they're quite well balanced. So with that in account, it's the same old thing. Like they didn't need to do something other than a paper doll in the mech lab, and they didn't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to battle value. So go with what's already there, tweak it to your own needs. You could probably get rid of most of the quirk system.
Yeah, that wouldn't be
do
too
it
bad.
All over again, really easy.
Yeah, true.
Man. I mean, I love my quirks, but I mean, you could just if you just got the time to kill to go down, right, or up, I should say, so that we could get that feeling of mechs blowing apart around us again. Because I don't like that instant kill feeling. It's lame. It's much better when it feels like it's going down system by system and you're just barely keeping it together. That's the best part of driving a battle mech.
I will admit, though, I do love the fact that you turn a corner and you see someone and you like alpha strike them once and they fall down. Like mid-stride, you're like, you suck.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. But that really is more like Twitch gaming, right? Like that's more like Halo. That's more like Call of Duty where you come around the corner and that guy's dead, right? Whereas we're in battle mechs. We're supposed to come around the corner and there's that son of a bitch, and you start pounding on him a little bit, start giving him a little lick here and a little lick there. He's trading back, and it's all about the trades, right? Like you don't trade in Call of Duty. That's not a concept they know about. But in BattleTech, we trade. We trade, and we decide when it's worth the trade and when it's better to pull away, right? And that's not an easy decision to make in the heat of battle. And I think that's the heart of the goodness of the game. Yeah. And I think that we need to focus on making that the best part of the gaming experience. The simulator idea of customization and the feeling of a mech that gradually comes apart shot by shot until you're left standing in a skeleton that's falling down.
It makes sense. The only thing I don't like is the fact that, like I understand certain mechs have certain weapons on them by chance, like by design, but I mean, you've seen me when I play with the clan mechs. I'm just sitting there, I'm giddy for like hours. Like how you can swap arms out, legs out, torsos, heads, you name it. And it's just like, I know for a fact that, I mean, if there was a locust in the inner sphere and they're like, okay, well, we're having some problems here and there, we can swap out these lasers for something else. We should be, like, I mean, modern military technology is, I mean, even when you look at, like, for example, the lasers and the missiles, they're all pod-based systems. Like, I don't understand, like, still to this day, I don't understand why sometimes, like, on the gridiron, for example, right, that one big gun has to be ballistic, and that's it. Right. So it's like, okay, why? Why do I have to have an AC-20 or a Gauss on that one shoulder when, and I hope and I wish, that I could just load the fucking thing up with something else?
Right, and that's where the 2C is going to have a huge advantage, is you'll be able to take a hunchback and you'll be able to actually put whatever you want in there, right? Like it'll have that clan advantage, right?
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? It's a clan mech, though. So, for example, Community Warfare, you can't run it.
No, like we Inner Sphere guys can't. No, it's true.
Yeah, and with how much I play Community Warfare, the mech I really, really wanted was the Hunchback 2C with two AC-20s on it. Instead, it comes out and it's a fucking clan mech.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of it's just like, was it Al? I could see Al being mad about the new Orion comes out because he plays his little oinky quite often. And the new Orion comes out and guess what? It's a clan mech.
Yeah, and it totally makes your Orion look like a stinky piece of poo, right? So that makes you feel bad because you went and spent money like me on the Protector and actually bought an Orion, and then it turns out Orions are garbage and they never did fix them, which is ridiculous because they're the exact same weight as the Timberwolf, and for a while the Timberwolf owned the entire goddamn game. Yeah. So to have the Inner Sphere equivalent be a dead fish, it's just sad, man.
Well, and picture on a Hunchback 2C with two Ultra AC-20s. Come around a corner and you're in something of the same weight size. You're fucked. You are literally fucked.
Yep. Pretty much.
Like, no insult meant to PGI with this new, package because, I mean, they want their money in the last... Obviously, it goes clan. Well, see, that's the thing, right? So I thought it was going clan, Inner Sphere, clan, Inner Sphere. But then they release this like
But it's not.
yeah, it's one of these. They release Resistance, then Resistance 2, and then they give the quote unquote the reinforcements. It's like, no, that's not a package. Not, I mean, yeah, okay, I'll buy the odd mech here and there, but like, what the fuck? And then what really pisses me off? Can you tell I'm mad about this when I logged in today? If you look at the Highlander the Highlander 2C picture, there's a fucking Comstar logo on the right arm.
Really?
Yeah. You can take a look at it right now.
Mechs, and instead they called them 2Cs.
I'm looking at it right now. There's a Highlander 2C on the main page. On the right arm.
Send me the link. Drop me the link.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Because I'm looking at it right now. It's right there. Go to the Highlander 2C picture by clicking the link on the right. And on the right arm, there is a Comstar logo on the right arm. I just noted that's the thing that's really pissing me off. Like, I'm looking at it going, it even has a fucking Comstar logo on it. Like, are you looking at this right now? Or
I'm looking right now, man.
Yeah, so if you like the Highlander, the bottom of the 4, if you click it, and then look at the right arm. And you have a really small...
My God.
You see it, though?
Yeah, I can totally see it, man. What the shit? But wait, no. Don't get that wrong. Because the logo for... That's what you're thinking is the star of, not Comstar, but of the Star League. That's the Star League star.
Oh, sorry, the Star League logo, yeah.
But what the clans did was they took the Star League star, which was sideways, and they flipped it up so the point was pointing down, and they drove it into an image of the inner sphere, and that became their symbol, was the Star League piercing the inner sphere through the Free Racial Heg Republic.
Never mind.
So that's technically with the star pointing down like that. That is a Kerensky star.
Okay, that still pisses me off though. Now that I saw it.
Good eye, man. Yeah, and good thinking too, right? I mean, I don't know why. Like, the 2Cs are not going to have the. They're not going to have the lore effect. It doesn't make any sense from that perspective. But like I say, that leads us into our next topic: the battle values.
Sure.
Battle values will fix all balance issues because there was never a balance issue in BattleTech.
Yeah.
Problem, especially with Zellbringen at play on the clan side and the bidding system, you never had an unbalanced game. Well, because you didn't actually have to bid on it if it was just like two people playing. Like, you had the clans on one side and you had the Inner on the other. So your clan guy didn't have to bid against other clan guys to get the battle, but it was just set up in such a way that, like, he would bid his stuff not knowing what the Inner Sphere guy had. So he would lay his pieces out first, and then the Inner Sphere guy would lay his pieces out second, because that was sort of to account for the Zellbringen kind of guy. Right?
Yeah. Sorry, a friend of mine just sent me a picture of a beaver riding a goose wearing a hockey jersey.
Epically Canadian.
And it says Happy Canada Day on it.
Did you see that just out for a RIP video?
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah, I saw it on TSN.
Yeah, man. Epic. It was so good.
Oh, yeah. Guys from Peterborough. Yeah, the picture, a friend of mine from the States sent it to me. Go figure.
Awesome.
It was so weird today talking to people on the phones at work. People were like, "Hey, have a good 4th of July on Sunday." I'm like, "Yeah, have a good Canada Day today." And people were like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." Pull your head out of your ass.
You tell them that you're up in Canada. Like, that used to frustrate me so much when I would have to work on the phones and have to say you were from north of Buffalo.
North of Buffalo. I'm from Lake Ontario. I'm swimming. We're at the bottom of the lake. No, we're allowed to tell people that we're in Southern Ontario. Yeah.
Well, you should. It's ridiculous to not tell where you're from. That's funny.
I just won't tell people where I work, but yeah, or who I work for. But it rhymes with Maple. It's hilarious. People call I don't know if I told you, but the guy who had the problem with me saying the word Z instead of Z.
Right.
He gives me his name and he's like, yeah, Z. I'm like, okay, Z. He's like, yeah, no, Z. I'm like, yeah, Z. He's like, no, Z. I'm like, Z as in zebra. He's like, yeah. Why'd you say it like that? I'm like, well, because I'm educated and I'm in Canada.
I'm from another country. Yeah, sorry, man.
I apologize that when you call for help, a Canadian answered the phone.
It reminds me of that episode of Flight of the Conchords where a dude is standing next to this girl and he's trying to make time with her. She's like, "What's your name?" And he says, "Brit," which is like, You know, the way New Zealand people talk, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, Brit? And he's like, no, Brit. And she's like, Brit? And he goes, no, Brit. Like, B-R-E-T, Brit. Right? And she's like, oh, Brett. It's like, actually, no, it's his name, so however he says it, that's how you're supposed to say it.
It's like, I'm sorry, you don't, you're not, you don't understand things that are happening outside of your own country.
Listeners, we are sorry.
No, not really.
That you're not Canadian.
Exactly. But yeah, like I was looking at it, and I'm like at the new mechs there, and I was just kind of like, fuck. I'm like the guy I've wanted this entire time, because I've been playing my Hunchbacks so much as of late. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, one of these days we're gonna get the dual Hunchback. We're gonna have I can put like two 20s on it. It's gonna look so sweet in community warfare.
All I can give you in response to that, man, is now you know how I felt when ECM came out and it was a cataphract. Have you seen one on the battlefield lately? Have you even seen one of those fucking goddamn things?
Well, last time I played was with you and you had it, so does that count?
Oh, I had cataphracts, but I didn't have the ECM one that I wanted to buy. When the ECM one actually came out, it was terrible.
Oh, you got it, didn't you?
The lasers basically pointed at the ground. No, I didn't buy it. Steve Ridge did.
Oh, right. He finally bought a mech, and he buys that.
He wants to have all the ECM mechs. That's his mission, is to have every ECM mech in the game. And he was really excited about that one because it was going to be able to run fast and still have ECM. But then when we found out what one it was going to be, we were like, no! And we got it, and it was just terrible. It's just like the lasers basically shoot into the ground unless you're completely on a flat surface.
Yeah.
And the autocannon only has a single mount, so you can't really put anything in it of value.
Oh. Yeah, well,
ridiculous.
That's a bad plan anyways. Every ECM. Like, what kind of plan is that? The plan is to have every single one. Come on.
I'm going to take that as sarcasm.
Just a little bit. I don't have a problem. I can stop whenever I want. I don't have 72
I'm happy with my guys that I've got now. You know what I actually went and did, dude? I just went out and got myself, again, for like the fourth time, after selling them again and again, a Jaeger Mech Double D. And that little thing is rocking, man. I got triple Ultra 5 autocannons, buttload of ammo, and then I just tossed 2 flamers on it to fuck with the clanners.
Oh, nice. I turned my Jaeger Mech into a dual Gauss sniper.
Yeah, but the D's got that minus 30% Ultra autocannon jam chance now.
Oh.
Ah, yes. So I'm taking advantage of that because it's very effective on my Enforcer, but the Enforcer is like 15 tons lighter, so you're lacking in ammo, right? But with the Jaeger Mech, you can get a lot more ammo, and the more advantageous placement of the weapons allows for a much easier engagement. Also, I went and painted it ridiculous colors so I could just be like, screw you guys.
It's like pink and like purple?
Yeah, it's purple, Merrick green, and Steiner orange.
There's nothing wrong with Merrick colors.
No, man. They're good colors.
In more ways than one.
Apparently they don't run?
No, they don't. Well, we reverse. What was it? We march backwards to future victory. But we don't
do that
run.
all the time.
But we don't run.
No.
Merricks don't run.
Well, sometimes my urban mech will run backwards to future victory later.
Yeah, have you had a problem where like you forget what direction your legs are facing?
Yeah, if you're not careful, you can. But you know what my favorite thing is? I just got in a one-on-one against a commando the other day, and I was using my my Urban Mech R60, and I have it rigged right now with a single ERPPC and 4 machine guns. Huh. Pardon me. And that little guy is hilarious because this commando I kept watching him, and he kept jumping around guys and doing the circle dance around them, and they couldn't really shoot him, but he wasn't doing much damage, but he was like distracting them and stuff, right? Yeah. So I finally like started chasing him with my PPC and sort of ran him off and got him into a corner, and then he tried to circle dance mech, and it was funny because he clearly forgot that I could just track all the way around. So I just like started tracking in a circle, like shooting at him, and he was like, "Oh no!" And you could see him panic and start to freak out. And like, but then I was chasing him, and my jump jets got the better of him, and I shot him down with that big PPC right in the back. Whap! It was a glorious thing.
I did the same thing with mine. I threw I stripped it down and put an ultra something on it. With a couple
Ultra 5? Yeah.
I think it may have been a 10.
On an Urban Mech?
Yeah.
No, man, no, because that's only on clans for the Ultras.
Or not, sorry, I'm sorry, I think it was an AC-10 or something like that. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
yeah, as I say, I haven't been fucking playing for a while, so I forget the names of half this shit.
That's all right, man. No worries. And I know you play clans a lot too, so it's confusing.
Yeah, you name it. I'm very confused. Something shiny. Oh my god, a squirrel. I stripped it down, put a nice little AC on it, and I went running around doing pretty much what the commando guy did to you guys, except I actually distracted two king crabs, and I can't remember what the hell the other guy was. It was a medium, or it was another assault, and they started coming after me, but I forgot what direction my legs were facing.
So you ran right at them?
Yeah, I thought I was facing the other way, so I hit forward, and I started running at them with my AC-10, and I was like, oh, I'm going the wrong way. So I just held down the fire button, and I just, used my jump jets and, jumped right over them.
Yes.
I did a ET phone, a ET with the basket. Except I made it halfway on top of the king crab, and they hit me and killed me, and I fell on top of the other king crab. I always like to die spectacularly. I'm really shitty at the game, but
I really enjoy jumping my urban mech up on top of Steve Ridge's Atlas DDC, and then we ride into battle like that. And it's like Master Blaster.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, because yours goes really fucking slow.
What? Oh, my urban mechs?
Yeah.
No, they're all pretty fast now. I got them rigged out with 180 XLs. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I still
They can run 107. One was 6.9.
Shit, Jesus, it's a good radio station. So where were we? Battle system. Oh, the new River City map.
The new River City map. Now, that is going to be a joy to play on. I'm so excited about it. Now, if you'll remember in original River City, and I don't know if you remember this far back, but original River City map,
I don't remember.
Have these statues in the courtyard in front of the Citadel building in the middle there, the big cathedral. And those statues in the indestructible environment, you would get your foot caught on them, and you would look down and you couldn't see them, but you couldn't move past them either, and you'd have to back off them, and they were really easy to get hung up on. And so many times, so many of us had died going through that square and getting stuck on one of these statues in the square in front of the Citadel.
Sorry,
and,
what? Where?
Then, okay, so we're on River City. There's a big building in the middle. Yes, people call that the Citadel or the Cathedral. There's a courtyard in front of it.
What?
What?
I don't know what you're...
How can you not know what... Okay, so you know River City.
Yeah.
And you know the big building in the middle.
No.
Great, big, huge, dominates the entire map building in the middle?
You mean like near the bridge?
Yeah, like right in the middle. The giant, huge building that's massive right in the middle of the map.
You mean like by the bridge, right?
Yeah.
I had to fuck with you a little bit.
Okay. I was like, how could he not know? I thought he was an expert on MechWarrior. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but geez.
Yeah, I'm
So anyway,
expert
in that courtyard,
ass.
in that courtyard out in front of the Citadel, there used to be these little statues, and you'd get hung up on them all the time. And I can't even count the number of times I died on those statues, right?
Oh, okay.
So finally, they just took them out completely because everybody was so mad about them, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. They took them out before I started playing.
With New River City...
Yeah.
They are able to add them back in as destructible stuff. So I'm hoping that we'll all be able to smash over there and kick those damn statues over and blow them all up because they drove us freaking nuts.
See, now if they could make it like a projectile where you can walk up to it and just kick it, and it goes flying across the map with zero physics. Doesn't do any damage to anybody. You can just see the statue go flying.
Bring the physics back, yeah, man. It would be great if it still rocked you like an autocannon hit, though. That would be fun. Even if it didn't do damage, it was just like bonk.
Well, it makes sense, right? Because you're in a 70-ton mech and you're hitting something that doesn't move. I mean, you are going to get some sort of jostling. I mean, have you not hit a curb with a car?
It's true. Good point, man. Within the same line as this River City map that we're talking about in this redesign, I think they've got a new programmer on the team that actually knows how CryEngine works, and I think that's why we're seeing these changes. So
the tall dude with the glasses?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I just read on the forums. I don't know what the guy looks like. But
he was in the dev vlog.
Oh, good. I think I saw him on it. But yeah, with that in mind, they have these new things coming. Having an ECM mech like my Locust and being able to shoot out the lights in an area to make it darkness for myself, so that I can hunker down in my ECM in this little pool of darkness, and people could walk right by me and mining.
That's not creepy.
I think that's brilliant. I think that's just a fantastic idea, man. That's super awesome.
What I wish they would do for the actual map on the actual mech is put like a radar thing on it where you actually can see the actual radar on your actual mech, how far out you can see, and see like it's scanning.
Yeah, that would be really cool, man. The old one used to have that, and you could go from active to passive radar, which was also a very good feature that they should have.
Yeah, because then ECM will then have an actual reason. Like you can actually, like using the ECM, you can just jam everyone else's actual radar instead of just hiding. It's kind of like, okay, I have ECM mech. Everyone hide near me, please. And then I'm going to run away so that none of you can get my coverage.
Right, as opposed to if you stood near a group of enemies, you could kill all of their radars and they wouldn't know where that was coming from, which would be a way better ability.
Like I said, or even as you're shooting someone, you actually can damage their radar so that they actually can't see.
Apparently supposed to be the original idea, was that would go down one by one, but they never really got around to implementing that, so it's awfully complicated.
Well, maybe even like over time, right? I mean, have it so that, like the main screen, as your weapons are getting knocked out, just put like a little slot in the center chest. Don't have it like listed for anybody. Just have it listed as like radar when it's damaged, or even like say if it's just damaged, so it's like quote unquote yellow. You just set it so that how when you get someone has when you get low signal, everything kind of goes a little fuzzy. Yeah. Just do that to the map.
Right.
And then you turn around and you turn off the actual radar, and it'll actually say low signal or jam, or have like jam trickling down the screen or something.
Anything, right?
Sir, we've been jammed.
That's just it, man. If we could change the way those radars work, we could have a whole new game. But we were talking about River City.
Yes.
So the new feature, it's pretty much doubled in size.
Yeah,
has a new airport section with a sort of a landing area. Has a bunch of rocks in the river to hide behind now, so it's not just this big open empty expanse of getting shot. Now there's cover to cover that you can kind of make your runs up through.
People
the sides.
can hide from my missiles.
And just generally taking advantage of everything. Yes, people can hide from your missiles.
Bastards.
But this is the new redesign and the new step forward, and I'm really, really hoping that they can do more of this, and that it's as good as I'm hoping it is. Because we got to kick this thing in the pants if it's going to be any good in time for Steam. Like, we got to get new player experience to be way improved.
Oh yeah.
We got a long way to go yet.
Well, especially with Steam too. I mean, the fact that I'm on Steam all the time. I don't think I'm ever off it. And then one thing with Steam, right? It's there's a constant. Everyone's constantly on it. Like if I go on my Steam right now, double click on it real quick. Right now, on my friends list, I've got a super long list, but usually at least 5 to 10 people are always online playing something. And out of those 10, usually at least 3 or 4 of them are always playing some sort of multiplayer online game. Like right now, I mean, there's people playing Gary's mod, and then something called Fortress Craft. I have no idea what the fuck Fortress Craft is, but I keep seeing people play it recently.
I think I saw a playthrough of it. It looked pretty decent.
Yeah, and Unturned as well. Oh, by the way, I got it.
Awesome. Yes, you should come play with that with us someday. That would be good.
One of these days.
That is one that would be really fun to make stupid videos on because it's so goofy looking, and the shit you can do is so wacky. So, like, you can drive cars and the physics is all out of whack, so you can crash them and they all go crazy and flying and stuff. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, man. Like, it's good. You can jump out of the car while it's moving, and the car keeps going.
Speaking of smashing stuff, did you see the video on the destructible environments when the guy was running around with the fire starter? Or not the fire starter, the spider or the flamer?
I'm really hoping they implement, like, fire on the trees. And that they could start burning up and stay on fire. That would be incredible.
I can't think they could.
That's the next step.
It would cause too many people's graphics cards to grind to a halt.
Well, you wouldn't actually have to make a smoke effect off them. You could just make it like an on-fire tree effect where it's just like a waving fire back and forth. It wouldn't have to look incredible. Just let it burn for a little bit before going out,
Well, even
but that could be handy.
Yeah, I mean, I know one problem I have with the game is that the graphics are good enough. In my eyes, they are not even I have my game set to ultra, the highest, aspect ratio, and I look at it and I'm just like, no.
Well, that makes it look even worse because you notice how far they are from good graphics. Like when I have it on my low settings on my laptop that I like to play on, I don't even notice that the graphics aren't that great because I can hardly see anything.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because you got a small little screen. Yeah, but I also noticed that during the what was it, the last town hall meeting they had? They even said it and admitted it
Yeah.
that like they're keeping the game back when it comes to like graphics and all that stuff because there's so many people that play at like the low end, and there's people like I'm not bragging or anything, but
Right.
people like myself who have like a crazy high end machine. And I want to be able to be like, okay, like I want to be able to see like my breath on the cockpit on like Alpine City or like on the Alpine the Alpine map. I want to be able to when firing a laser or when I'm overheating, I want to see steam coming from my mech or whatever, and I mean
Right.
you shoot like a laser and instead of it leaving a perfect line on something. I was looking at this earlier. It actually pulses, even a solid laser does. So it won't need a full line of actual damage.
Right.
If you shoot it, it does. Yeah. So I don't know. So it leaves the same texture, but just stretches the texture across, and it just looks like a bunch of little hits. And it's just no. I mean, my big problem recently is the fact that I've been playing
that's
so many.
frustrating, man. Absolutely.
Well, have you
Something
seen?
like say Witcher 3,
I was just about to mention that. I have it on PC.
or even a game like Two Souls, Beyond Two Souls. Have you ever seen that?
I've seen the videos on it. Yeah.
Like that looked like the actual actors. Like it looked like
Yeah.
Ellen Page. It looked like her. Like you
Yeah,
would swear that was really Ellen Page on the screen, only like animated.
Yeah.
And you're like, that is so weird. Like as soon as you see her face, you're like, that's Ellen Page. It's uncanny. So if we can do that now, and that game's a couple years old. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just CryEngine. I think they went. Like Microsoft made them use this old engine to build the game. Nobody knows how to use it. There's a limited number of people who are even bothering to learn it because it's outdated now, and the new systems that are coming are so much better.
Well, they're probably
all
looking
the
at
new
it.
young programmers aren't bothering with it, right? So it's just like it's tough.
I mean, they're probably looking at it as it is. CryEngine is owned by Microsoft. It's their own engine, right? So they don't have to spend money on a game that's quote unquote
Right.
free for people.
Right.
I mean, now if they
That
could
was
transfer,
the idea behind it, but
yeah, I mean, if they could transfer it over to Unity, that would just be like, oh, like even Unity 6, like even at a date Unity, like this game would be way better. I mean, dude, Kerbal Space Program is on Unity, and so is fucking Battlefield Frontline.
right.
Like, just think of like the differences between those two games alone.
Right. The potential there is like limitless, right? And that's the problem. Is they've got their hands tied, and the programmers. I mean, Canada doesn't have that big of a talent pool. Let's face
That's
facts,
true.
man. They're gonna have to like get some outsourced help. I think they're gonna have to
damn
like
it.
look outside to
Damn
find
it.
the talent they need.
I want my ability to build a mech up from the feet up, and then turn it into a crime-stopping robot. I want my Kerbal Space Program meets Battlefield Frontline.
Well, dude, I think that finally comes out, you'll see a lot more of that full customization where you can put like a chainsaw on your mech and weird shit and just like go buck wild on people. Like that's going to come in the Solaris arena because that'll be what makes it spectacular. But heck, if they don't get their act together, they're going to have real Solaris in the real world before these guys are ever done.
Well, I mean, like the one thing I really liked, even that game I lent you on Xbox 360 there.
The Chrome Hounds, yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, I mean that game. You literally start off with a blank room, and it's like, okay, so what kind of chassis do you want? What kind of arms do you want? What kind of torso? What kind of here's the different power cells. You literally build your mech from the ground up, literally.
Right, yeah. Which is sort of what Omnimex are technically like. Sort of. Not really, but kind of.
No, but even if they give you the option, like the clan mechs, right? Like you pick a Timberwolf, it goes, okay, before we actually give you the Timberwolf, what legs do you want? Here's how much money the Timberwolf is worth. 13 million, say, for example. Or I think it's worth like 14. Like, okay, it's 14 million. Within that 14 million, what do you want? Like, okay, well, I want, J arm right, B leg, or B right leg, C left leg, D right arm, the A head, and the prime torso.
Right.
Like, that would be awesome. But instead, it's like, okay, which one do you want? The A, the B, the C, the D, the prime.
Well, see, now, the reasoning behind the lore on that one was that they were trying to make it pseudo-realistic at the time of the tabletop a little bit, right? So they wanted the idea of there are factories making these mechs. So, like, the one that they make, the Hunchback that they make in Steiner territory is different than the Hunchback they make in Korea territory, but they're both Hunchbacks.
Yeah,
but
true.
it's sort of like the same thing, like, back in the 70s, you'd see a different model of the same car in Canada as you would see in the States because they made them here for political reasons and for, tariff reasons and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the idea would be like, this Hunchback's a little better because it uses the Hesperus Industries laser instead of the Defiant Industries laser, and it's more reliable.
Now, if
Techs find it easier to work on in the field, things like that. It was all fluff, but I mean, like, it was all sort of in there, and it made sense, right?
Well, that
so
kind of explains the
if you wanted to have a fully customizable mech, then I would think it would have to be like the equivalent of buying a Lamborghini compared to buying a car from a factory.
See,
you know what I
wouldn't
mean?
mind
It'd be
that.
like you could buy a Neon and it's not very expensive, but buying a Lamborghini is another prospect entirely.
Dutch
right?
Neons are a
But
piece
you
of
can
shit.
get whatever features you want in your Lambo. Like they'll put whatever you want on it. It's a friggin' Lamborghini. If you wanted to have 10 cup holders, they'll put fucking 10 cup holders in
Hey,
it.
I got 15 million right now on my account. I'd be willing to buy a Hunchback 2C right now if I could use it for Inner Sphere.
Right?
Which also
Well, the closest thing you can get is a gridiron.
yeah.
I
Boo.
like my griddle cakes, man. I think he's awesome. I enjoy that.
See, I don't mind it, but I wanted that 2 AC20 Hunchback.
But you got to think, man. Twin AC-20s on a Hunchy, it only weighs in at 50 tons. So then you're looking at 28 tons just in the guns, right? And then you got to still get armor and an engine on there. You wouldn't have room for much else.
Let's see what it has right now. I'm just looking right now.
Like when I put my Hunchbacks together, if I want to put 2 Ultra 5s on even, I got to strip everything off it.
Well, it comes with 2 ER medium lasers, an XL200 engine, 4 double heat sinks, 2 Ultra AC-20s, and then 2 tons of ammo. And what's the one thing I've been saying I really, really, really want on a Hunchback?
ECM?
Jump jets.
Jump jets. Oh my God. What?
It comes with 4 tons of jump jets. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In all my videos, I've been running around with Hunchback saying, oh my God, would a Hunchback with jump jets not be the best thing ever in this entire world? Just seeing a Hunchback flying across the sky, shooting these 2 AC-20s. No,
Pretty funny.
it would be, but no, it's a fucking clan mech.
But I'm still sure that you're not going to see many of the Ultra 20 configurations, and you're going to find that guys are more into up-engining it and putting twin Ultra 5s on it, because those twin Ultra 5s are devastating.
But you can't change the engine on it. It's a clan mech. It's a clan mech.
No. See, that's why everybody's complaining, Rob, is you can change the engine on it, which makes it deadly. And back in the day, that wasn't a factor because you couldn't customize Inner Sphere mechs. But now they're saying because it's half Inner Sphere mech, you can also upgrade the engine.
So then what? But then brain hurt.
So it has all the advantages of everything, which means it's ridiculously broken unless they institute this battle value system so that you're never fighting against a mech that outclasses you.
Is it an Omni mech too?
No, you can't change the weapon slots. Like, you can't change the location. Like, it's going to be 2 autocannon slots in the 2 shoulders regardless. You can't put one in the arm. It's not like that. But it does have the advantage of being able to upgrade, like, to whatever engine it wants and use all clan tech. So it's fully customizable in the way of an Inner Sphere mech, but it also gets access to clan tech for the weapons.
Oh my God, I so want to buy this now.
Oh, you know you'll get one eventually. Just wait for it to come out in C-bills.
Yeah,
These bastards, man, they're fucking around too much, man. We need to make a protest vote with our dollars and say we're not giving you any more money until you guys get your shit together.
Well, it's one of these things too. I mean, like, I'm just looking at this. I'm like, this is the mech I've been wanting for this entire, for the longest time. Like, when I started playing Mech Commander again, the second mission, you save a Hunchback 2C with dual AC-20s on it from being overrun. And I'm like, oh my God, if I could get that in this game, this would be awesome. I already have my Timberwolves. I'm happy with them. That's what I wanted. And then right when I saw that, I was just like, oh my God. Like, yeah, it has shit amount of ammo. With those 2 medium lasers, at least, you can sit there and pick people off. And, you can sit there and be like, okay, hit you with the medium laser. Hit you with a medium laser. Then you walk up in front of me. Bam! Ultra, boom, there you go. AC-20s to the face. It's literally...
Everybody's talking about that Robotech movie and hoping that the unseen mechs will also make an appearance if Sony finally gets the properties off Harmony Gold. Then it might be possible for us to get our shit too, because Sony's going to be maybe more open-minded about doing business than Harmony Gold is.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, all the new Origin 2 mechs come with jump jets. All of them. The Hunchbacks.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, man. Like, these things, until they get that battle value system working, they will be totally OP. So I think that means they actually have a good idea of what they're gonna do with battle value, because there's no other way to go forward without taking this into account. Like, the tech levels that come past this point, the guns that come are so outrageous, like the HAGs and the like medium range missiles and all the things that come out are so deadly dangerous compared to the old tech that TTK will go like through the basement. It'll go so low you won't even have time. You'll like basically it'll go all systems not up and you'll be dead. You know? So I mean, like, they're gonna have to put in a battle value system so that if we're all 3057 mechs or like like 3100 era kind of mechs, then they'll be matched up against mechs of their same era and same tech level. It's going to have to be like that. You can't take a bunch of World War I tanks and play them against like modern tanks. It doesn't work.
You could.
Right?
It'd be kind of entertaining to watch, but you could.
Well, yeah, if you like watching fish get shot in a barrel.
Oh, that reminds me. Something I had to ask you a question of. The Sherman from World War II, the frontal armor, how thick was it?
Not very thick, was it? Like 2 inches or something? It wasn't very thick.
Well, it was sloped.
Right.
One sloped, it was 12.3 inches.
Oh, okay, I see.
How thick was the frontal armor on a Tiger? 16.3.
But flat.
But flat.
Which is not good.
No, when you think about it.
I can't believe it took them that long to realize that, because, you know, like, if you look at, like, human armor from the medieval period, they figured out a long time ago that rounded armor was better than square armor.
Yeah.
Like, they figured that out ages ago, and it seems, like, unbelievable to me that they could take so long to realize that sloped armor was a necessity when you're dealing with high-impact projectiles. I mean,
but then look at MechWarrior, which is where I was going with this. It's all flat armor.
Yeah.
If I hit someone with an AC-20 round, it's just going to hit, it's just going to squash, and it's going to do damage.
Right.
What's the point of having my Grasshopper with the kind of, like, if you look at it, right, it kind of has a sloped armor feel to it. It kind of cuts down to the chest, and then kind of like where, you know, the titties are. It kind of slopes up. So it's angled. Like, why is there no, like, if, like, say for example, right, someone fires an AC-20 at me and hits, I don't know, we'll use, I'm just looking at a picture right now of, what's a mech that has a lot of, like, edges to it? The Zeus.
Nova.
Well,
Zeus, sure.
Yeah, well, look at the Zeus, right? I mean, it almost has, like, a literal, like, 30-degree, like, angle to the front of it.
Yeah, like inward, like it would channel the fire towards the thing, not away.
Yeah, and then, for example, but you look at the Zeus, right? Like, it has a bit of an angle to it up into the shoulders, and the shoulders go around.
Right.
So, I mean, why is there not the option of when I hit someone with an autocannon round, like, why is it not that, you know, the shot ricochets? Like, even look at the Enforcer, right? There's a huge chest section that comes out of the chest with the Octagon logo on it. It's all angled.
True.
Like, if someone hit the side of that, theoretically, there should be a chance of the shot ricocheting into the arm or ricocheting under the arm.
True.
Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, the only reason why I think of this is because playing War Thunder a lot in the last week, I had a Stungeschütz. Ultimate, freaking 88 on it. I saw a fucking Sherman, and I hit the front armor dead fucking on, and it bounced.
Oh, God. Well, I guess things like that have been known to happen in war. Yes, it's true.
But it's just like, that made me thinking. I'm like, well, I mean, we have all these mechs with autocannons. Like, why don't some of the rounds bounce? I mean, how awesome would it be, right? If you have an ultra cannon, you're sitting there just going, bop, bop, bop. Like, you've seen me with my Direwolf. Like, I'm just unleashing, like, round after round, and they're so fast. It's like a machine gun. And the rounds are just hitting and exploding.
Right.
Like, there's, like, how cool it will be if I'm firing my Direwolf, you know, using, you know, all these LBX rounds, they're hitting the guy. But at the same time, there's rounds bouncing off and hitting the guy beside him, bouncing off and hitting the ground, bouncing up and going into the air.
Yeah, man. It would be very spectacular, but it would probably be really hard for them to track data-wise. Like, it would probably be a nightmare.
Really, because what happens, right? The round A leaves player A and hits player B.
I guess, you know what? You're right. If you just made it random, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
If you tried to actually plot the path and make it make physical sense, that wouldn't work. But if you just had a randomizer that pinged some rounds off at a certain percentage, yeah, like that would work good, man. That would be fun.
And then you just put it.
Okay, so what are we?
So what?
What are we looking at for time here, man?
We're sitting at 56 minutes.
Oh my god, I thought we went really long. That felt like huge long.
We still got the community warfare stuff.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. So let's get back into that. So the community warfare changes. The first one,
Yes.
You don't scout to figure out what bases or what planets can hit next. There's now going to be a vote put in place for only the permanent contract loyalty groups that can vote on what planet's going to
That's cool.
Have you heard about that yet?
I heard them say that, but I thought they hadn't decided on whether they were going to go that way or not. But I have heard about that.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is, right? Once I can't remember if it's 3 times a day or it's once a day, right? You and I, as permanent members of the FRR, can actually go online once a day and say, today, the Canada Day, we are only going to attack Ghost Bear.
Right.
And the whole FRR votes, and whoever wins the vote, we attack just that unit, just that group.
Right.
Now,
perfect. I love it.
Now, the way they're going to institute the scouting, the 4v4 scouting, is that there's going to be 4 specialties on each planet. Now this is all speculative, of course, because they said this is what they're thinking of doing. The first one is the long tom gun. The next part is a sensor suite or a radar scan. The next one was a intel gathering ability, where whenever a player drops, you see what mech he has before he drops.
Cool.
And I can't remember what the 4th one was. It was something not too great, but it was something that they kind of threw in. But basically what happens is, right, look, us as the FR, like us as the 421, right, we're not a big 12-man. But for the 4-man,
right.
Oh, sorry, the 4th thing they mentioned was everything's real time when it comes to the scouting versus the 12-man. So, say the 228 is on the FRR side, and they're attacking the multiple sclerosis team on Clan Ghost Bear. That's right.
Okay.
I'm calling them the multiple sclerosis because they're a disease. So,
apologies to all my friends out there with MS that might be listening to this podcast. Go ahead.
With MS or on MS?
With MS.
Oh, they're probably not listening. If anyone has any intelligence, they're not listening to us. Especially after the beginning. So
I have a couple key friends, but it's fine, man. They won't get mad. They'll laugh that I said that.
I have a few friends, just a couple friends.
1 or 2.
I have friends. I am special.
Your story.
So anyways, yeah. So what'll happen is, right, say the 2 of them are attacking, and we go up against the CBGBs. So we got 4 against 4 of the CBGBs and us. The first match, say we're attacking Ghost Bear. We win the first match. Clan Ghost Bear, who's currently defending, loses one of the 3 bonuses. So, for example, they lose the long time during the match.
Right.
So during the match, right, MS is sitting there going, okay, we're going to use our long tom gun on their second wave. We win our first match. Boom, the long tom gun goes away as one of their options.
They just lost. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's
right
brilliant.
In the
I didn't
middle
know
of
they
the
were
match.
going that way. That's beautiful.
Yeah, now, if the CBGBs, they then win match number 2, the long tom gun comes back. Middle of the match.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Now, say we win 2, real time, again, they lose the long tom gun and they lose the radar scan, which is every X amount of, I think they said X amount of minutes, I think it was 5 minutes, there's just a quick scan, like a radar scan, and it tells you where everybody is.
Ah, I gotcha. Yeah, like a planetary scan, like a satellite going by or something.
Exactly. So you can actually see where the other people are massing up, if they're massing for a push. So you can actually see that. Now, mind you, same thing. If you lose it, say we win once, we take the long tom gun away. We then win again. We then take the scanner away.
Right.
If we win the third time, they then lose the ability to see when 228 drops. They lose the option of seeing what the people are dropping with.
Okay, yeah.
I think it goes the other way around. I think it's the first option you get is the ability to see what people are dropping. I was going to say, that sounds
like the most powerful, yeah.
Yeah,
so, but maybe not in order.
Yeah, I just can't remember what the order is. Now, if we then win the fourth match, our team gets, in real time, the long Tom gun.
Right.
If we win the second match, they get the scanner, and if we win the third match, they get, the pre-notification of what's being dropped, who and what they are.
Right. So first you take it away from the enemy, and then you give it back to your guys after that.
And then you get to your own guys. Exactly.
Cool. Awesome. That's a really good system, man. Yeah. So all of a sudden they'll be like, "Oh, sweet, the 421st are scouting for us. It's gonna be good now, man. Those guys always bring the noise. Like, that'll be cool. Like, they'll be glad that we're on planet with them. They'll see us there. Yeah, I love it. That's great. That's the way it should
also said the maps that are going to be used for 4v4 are the regular drop maps.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah. So I mean, those are maps that everyone knows, right?
I got them memorized all the shit. Yeah, man.
Exactly. But the thing is, every map will have its own little change to it because there's two modes. It's going to be it's going to be scout and counter scouting are the two different types of scouting missions.
Right, cool, man. I'm also really hoping that when they bring this new assault mode out, the King of the Hill style assault mode or whatever it is, where there's like one side as a base and the other side is attacking.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that they'll use the community warfare maps in the public queue for that game mode.
They probably will, because they're already designed for that, right?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm hoping. Then they can get a whole bunch more use out of their existing resources without adding anything new. It's just a matter of flipping a couple paths.
And they also are planning on changing the way the queue works in Community Warfare 2. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So obviously there's the two major groups, right? People in a faction, like us, or mercs that we're permanent members. So those people have loyalty points with really good rewards, like mech bays and all that stuff worth MC and stuff, and we get to vote on what factions we attack. And then we also have the ability to pay mercs to fight for us, to hit a specific planet. We literally put a bounty on a planet and say, hey, the 421st has put a $100 million bounty on Susquehanna for anyone who captures it for the FRR.
Right.
Yeah. So say the 228, we'll use them as an example again. If they capture it, we give them $100 million.
But we get the planet.
We get the planet, we get our name on it, but they get the money.
Cool.
How awesome is that? Now, here's the other thing, too. Then there's the mercs. So they only get now a 7-day contract max. They can pick up bounties to take planets. They have I can't remember what the name that's replacing loyalty points is, but basically all you get is MC mostly. I think there's the odd mech bay or something that you get here and there, they were saying.
Right.
But it's going to be mostly MC that you get for rewards. Can't remember what they were going to call it. It's like a prestige thing, but I can't remember what word they used for it. But then, so say there's a huge event, like the event going on this weekend, for example. So there's a huge, big event going on. Say we're doing our thing, we're rolling out and doing the community warfare, which we don't. I'm the only one that does it.
Well, we still are on the unfun zone. As soon as they make it fun, we'll be in.
I have fun.
We don't, though. I'm just being honest. We don't have fun. The rest of us don't.
Yeah. It's not for everybody yet. Yet is my thing. So here's the thing, right? Because one of the complaints like me I have is there's not enough people. Not enough people are playing. So now, they're now adding a third faction, which is people that are not aligned to anything but are still part of community warfare. They actually can fight on any side at any time.
So they're basically like partisans. They can just fight with whoever's there, kind of thing.
They just have to have community warfare as an option turned on, and they can fight. So they can get a notification saying, hey, Susquehanna needs defenders, or then they can get a pop-up a couple seconds later saying it needs attackers, and they can do both.
Cool. So they don't have to choose to be either side. They can just sort of be normal people.
Exactly. They just enable or turn on community warfare as an option.
Ah, neat.
Yeah. Now, here's the other part. If, even after that, where someone has community warfare enabled, and say those people don't want to play, or they're playing, but there's still more people that are needed. If a auto win scenario occurs at the 8-minute mark. So with 3 minutes left for the auto win, it then goes out to every single player in and online, whether they're in community warfare or not. That, all of a sudden it'll pop up. Like, figure this, right? You've never played community warfare before. You always you hear people talk about it, and you're like, I don't know, it sounds really big or whatever.
Right.
And you haven't enabled it, you're not part of a faction, so you've never seen the pop-ups before, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there playing around in the mech lab, right? Playing with your Orion 1, and all of a sudden there's a pop-up on the very bottom right-hand corner that says, hey, Susquehanna needs defenders. You're going to look at that and be like, what the fuck is that?
What the hell is that thing? Yeah.
You're going to click it, and it's going to automatically pre-populate with trial mechs a drop deck for you, and throw you into a match if there's enough players.
Cool.
My only problem with that is the fact, you're getting thrown in with trial mechs. So in the end, you don't know. Like, you're kind of behind the 8 ball. You've never played it before. And...
But on the upside, they're fixing the trial mechs, so they're going to actually be leveled and finished. They're not going to be just like crap stock mode. Yeah,
the only problem is you'll be given mechs that you may never have used before, and you'll be in a mode you never used. But all you have to do is tell people people should be able to see, right? It should say Atlas, DDC, and then it should say in brackets trial mech, or it should say beside their name, they're a non-community warfare player at least, so everyone knows to say, hey, you follow so and so. Because at least then,
there should be an actual noob sticker on them or something, right?
Yeah, like a little thing saying, "Hey, this person doesn't play."
Yeah.
Because nothing could be worse than say me and 11 other guys who play community warfare all the time. Like, say I was playing with the Lions,
right?
The 7th Lions there from Italy. We all drop. Yeah, most people will look at us as a group of pugs, right? Because there's six guys from the Lions, and then there's 6 other random people. But most people don't realize is the 12 of us play together all the fucking time when it comes to
Skittles, you're still like a team.
Exactly. So we're still talking. I've gone on their TeamSpeak a couple of times just to listen, but they speak Italian, so it's kind of hard.
These are your letter names,
Exactly. So that's what they've gotten to the point where they'll say a bunch of stuff in Italian if I don't need to know about it, but if I need to know about it, they'll actually one of them actually knows English, so he'll actually tell me, "Hey, go this way, type thing."
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because he'll know what everyone else is doing, and he'll tell me, "Hey, everyone from the Lions is going to go here to gate A. It'd go to Alpha Gate. You take control of all the non-English players, and you guys go to Beta." And I'll be like, no problem. I'll type in, "Okay, everyone that's non-Lion, come with me. We're going to Beta Gate."
Right.
Or even so it's the only thing I would be worried about is, say, a bunch of us, right? It looks like we're a bunch of pugs. We drop, and say we get to that 8-minute mark, and 12 people just hit that button to see what's up, get thrown against us.
Right.
On, say, defend. Like, if we got on the Boreal Vault and we're defending against 12 people that have never played the mode before, there should be some sort of heads up to at least the people that are on the opposite side, say, for example, that, hey, listen, the people you're playing against don't play community warfare. There should be some sort of warning or pop-up on when you see the other team. If you see out of the 12 guys in their team, 9 of them or 8 of them are these drop-in players. Even if it said, Baron Von H, brackets, drop-in.
Right.
I know.
Just to sort of let people know what they're dealing with.
Yeah, so I know, let's not wipe them out and let's not let them push, wipe you out, then push to your drop zone and then sit there and wait and just wipe you out as you drop.
Right.
Actually sit there and put out all chat and be like, hey guys, welcome to community warfare, blah 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 blah. I've actually had that during one of the last tournaments. The multiple sclerosis guys. They actually took all 3 of our generators down on one of our maps, all in one shot. I don't know how to this day I still don't know how they did it, but they took it. 4 of them went to one generator, so everyone kind of went that way, And then before I even realized it, and most of the other guys in the unit even noticed, the other 2 generators were down.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was just like, oh my god, the other 2 lances just like went right for the gates.
Wow.
But then, MS, I think they realized, okay, we're just going to walk over these guys, so fuck it. They all then went to, like, they went past the gate, or the gun, didn't take a single shot at it.
Right.
It was on the new Taiga map. They all went right to that big middle part.
Right.
And basically we just brawled it out. Until they took out, I think it was like, until they took all, they think they had like 42 kills at one point. They didn't hit the spawn points, they didn't do anything, they just beat the crap out of us. And then when there was only a few of us left, they were like, okay, I think this is enough. And then they took out the gun. But then at the same time, we went up against another unit, and they just literally ran around, took out the gates, and then took out the gun. And it was like, okay, well, that was a good 5 minutes wasted.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm not. That's why I don't feel it. I'm like,
yeah.
I feel like I can't compete. I feel like I'm in there, and it's like too much focus fire. The organized teams are so much better than the pug teams that there's almost no comparison. But take that focus fire out of the equation, and man to man, I can 1v1 almost anybody that I run into. Man, I'm pretty good at that shit.
But I mean, I have to admit, focus fire is part of it, right? I mean, even when I was in the army, you would focus fire on one person at a time.
Oh, absolutely. No, it makes sense. But I mean, like, if we could find a way where that wasn't as big of a factor, then we'd at least have a chance. And if focus fire is a factor,
sorry,
to bring 12 mechs when we got 1 million inner sphere guys waiting in the wings. I mean, how come we only got 12 then? Why don't we have 300?
That brings me actually to my next point.
There's only 12 clan mechs, maybe, but.
So, you know how you can vote on planets?
Right.
Well, you mentioned earlier about, the clans voting, I can take this planet with X max. I can take this planet with this max. What's stopping them from integrating that into community warfare now?
Absolutely nothing. And if they did, it would be amazing because people would actually play.
Well,
and it would actually feel fair.
Well, think about this, right? So, Clan Ghost Bear decides their whole team, we are, like for us, right? Like for the FRR, we vote, we're going to attack Karita. That's it. We just have the option. It says, who would you like to attack today? It's a nice way to wake up in the morning. Do you want to attack Davian, Steiner, Karita, Gummy Bears?
It's very 1984.
Yeah. Who do you want to attack, right? So we put in our vote first thing in the morning, and then we now know for the next day who we're attacking. Boom, right? So we're attacking Ghost Bear. But for Ghost Bear, they have 2 options. There's your loyalty, your loyalty option, which is who are we going to attack today? So Ghost Bears pick 420. They attack 420 first. They pick the Razzlehag Republic. But then option number 2 is your unit out of 12 mechs. How many mechs do you think you need to attack said planet? And
Absolutely. And then you could give them priority in the queue. Like the less mechs you take, the higher you run in the queue automatically.
And you get more money. So there's a multiplier. So if you pick 12, you get 0 multiplier to the amount of money you get. You get your money and that's it. Right. If you pick 11, you get X percentage, say 1%. If you go to 10, you get 3%. To the point where the max you can go down to is say... Exactly,
just incentivize that position.
Exactly, and then if people really complain, be like, well, it's lore. Like,
it fits.
You can still vote.
And it would be exciting again, because there'd always be 12 inner sphere, so you'd always have a chance. But if you're up against a super elite unit like the 228's top echelon, then they're probably gonna have 3 mechs, because they're so fucking good.
Yeah, but then at
it
least
would all even out.
Yeah, and there's also the bragging factor, right? They can actually say, we in the 421st, we took our clan mechs out, we took Susquehanna, we did it with 4 mechs.
Right.
And then then the 228 turns around and goes, well, we did it with 3.
Exactly.
MS turns around and goes, well, we did it with 2.
Right. And then somebody's like, I did it by myself.
Yeah,
I mean the whole planet alone.
I mean,
honestly, you could do it.
It's
and it would fit with the clans.
Exactly, and then what you do on top of that is you then start giving bonuses. So say you took one planet with 6, You took the next planet with 6. So you start getting multipliers to those as well, right? And then you start giving, you have to give something obviously to reward the inner sphere as well, right? To kind of offset the money bonus.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I don't think you need to. I mean, there's so many more inner sphere players than clan players.
Yeah. Or I mean, like just the money wise, right? I mean, I know clan tech is a lot more expensive, so.
Right. Yeah. I just meant that the fact that if you could make it fun for inner sphere players to participate, you'd bring the queues up in Community Warfare a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly everybody would be having a better time. So it would be really easy to incentivize the clan players on one side and not even bother incentivizing the inner spheres because there's lots of us. As long as we could have a fun match where we're getting an even fight, then that's all the incentive I'd need to play is if
well, it's like the Battle of Two
against 8 guys. Fucking right, let's do this. Now I feel like I got a chance.
Well, it's like the Battle of 2 Gate event. I still don't understand how if there's 30, groups of 12 in queue for the inner sphere, and there's 0 in queue for clan, how there was 0 auto wins.
It made no sense. Like, it was like, if this is the way the world works, then Germany would have won World War II, you fucking asshole.
Because, I mean, their argument there was, well, there's only X amount of spots to fight over the planet. It's like, well, yeah, okay, I understand where there's only X amount of spots you can actually fight. But at the same time, I mean, that's where they came up with the infamous, okay, well, Tukiyid, the clans won more, and so they won the planet, but in the event before that, it was... they actually came into the clans won more battles, but there were way more inner sphere, so there were more auto wins because there was just sheer numbers.
Right, they won their battles, but they lost the war from sheer numbers, right?
Right, because I mean,
which is how war works. That's war.
Exactly. It's just like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. If there's more people playing on one side, you're saying that's an unfair advantage because more people are playing on one side than the other. So you make it fair by penalizing the side with more players. By saying to that team, well, it's unfair that you have more people playing than the people that spent $200.
Right.
It's like, I'm sorry if you're playing with the free max and all that stuff and having fun, but the people that paid $200 deserve to get something because baby's got to have his bottle. I mean,
right, and that's how I felt about that event. Because the event before restored my faith in community warfare.
Well, that's where the
Everybody
FRR
came
went
back.
from. Yeah,
it
the
was
FRR.
so much fun. We had a hoot. Everybody was playing. It was a blast. But I just read this in the forums.
That was the last time we all played Community Warfare, and I even remember going, oh my god, if it stays like this, I actually may have gotten these guys back into Community Warfare.
Oh, yeah, we were having a blast, man. And then the tournament was over, and it was back to the same old shit. And you're like, for fuck's sakes, did you guys learn nothing? You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing, PGI.
Well, he's
PGI,
dead now.
Please. You're on an island. It's true. Well, no, he was lying on the ground bleeding. That doesn't mean he's dead in Game of Thrones, necessarily. It just means he was lying on the ground bleeding.
I thought he was dead.
No, he was dying, but, like, the Red Woman is crazy magical, and, Sam got sent away to go be a Meister, so there could be something going on there. I don't know, man. And
read the books.
Look at that creepy guy brought back the Mountain from the dead, so you never know, right? Like,
did he?
Well, yeah, that's who Sir Robert Strong is, man. It's fucking Frankenstein Mountain.
Well, I knew it was like Frankenstein-y, because I saw it in the show, like, you just see him, and I'm like, that's kind of creepy. I think that guy's dead.
Feet under that sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally a Frankenstein made from the Mountain by the dark magic of that, like, spooky Meister guy.
Oh, nice. See, I like Game of Thrones, but at the same time, if someone turned around and said, "Oh, by the way, in the next episode, he actually dies," the Mountain, who's like a zombie, becomes a vampire and starts killing everybody, I wouldn't be like, "Oh my god, you spoiled it for me." I'll be like, "Okay, that's cool, but I'm still gonna watch it to see what happens."
Well, they're all caught up to the books now, so if you've watched it to the end where Jon Snow dies, then you're caught up, man. Like, it's right even with the books now.
Well, yeah, because apparently
they
starting
cut out
next...
a lot of fat from extra storylines that they didn't really need.
Yeah, apparently starting next season, it goes left and the books go right, so...
Yeah, it was still following the same plot line, even though they got rid of a lot of the, like, alt stories. I just think they're going to do stuff like they're going to, like, take the yellow plague that hit... and everybody starts getting dysentery or whatever. Yeah. I think they're going to just make it the stone flesh. Like, they're going to make it the flesh-eating disease is the equivalent, because Jorah came and he's going to give it to everybody, right?
True, yeah, because he has it, yeah.
Right, but he's not told anyone. He's hiding it because he's a fucking weasel.
True, very true.
Even though he's like an awesome guy, he's a fucking weasel, and you can't trust him.
They all are.
Like you can't trust a traitor. Once he's a traitor, you can't trust a traitor, man.
Well, you can't trust any of them, right?
Well, kind of, but you know what I mean. There's like, there's no way you can trust a double agent with anything, right? Because they've already proven that they're capable of turning their coat.
Isn't the whole thing, was it, life is Game of Thrones, and in the end everyone loses, or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. I can't really remember the exact expression.
But anyways, back to community warfare.
Right, sorry.
So yeah, I mean, I think if they instituted those voting options, that would make things so much better.
Yeah.
Like if it came out that tomorrow, Clan Ghost Bear will be attacking the FRR, but with 8 mechs each, like 8 mechs total. Like I would be like, okay, I'm calling in sick to work tomorrow, because we already have, a numerical superiority. We already have a full lance more than they do.
There you go.
And then on top of that, once they institute, like think of this, guy. So the 228 playing as Inner Sphere, playing in their fucking Thunderbolts, and the multiple Sclerosises playing in their fucking Timberwolves and fucking Stormcrows.
Right.
Are sitting there duking it on a planet. MS has said, okay, we are going to take Susquehanna with 8 mechs. So they're running 8 with their 8 best players. 228's got 12 guys with their fucking meta builds and their fucking 9S's. They're fighting it out. We jump into a scout match with, CGBI or whatever. 4v4. We take the first thing. First thing they see when they drop is, boom, the mechs everyone has. So they're already like, okay, this is good. Not only do we have a numerical superiority, but now whoever's the scouting unit, is doing their job. Next thing you know, awesome. We win in our next match. Boom. The 228's defending the planet. They're defending the planet. They're waiting for the push. They're like, okay, they're not pushing it. They're going to push soon. Where are they? All of a sudden, boom, we win our next match. They get the scan option. They hit the button. Whoever's in charge, and boom, planetary scan. They see they're going to push towards Beta Gate. The whole team was at Alpha. Everyone from the 228, all 12 of them shift to take it to defend Beta Gate. Right? How awesome is that? Mm-hmm. And then
now we're actually looking at a connected community warfare experience where everybody has a role to play and there's actual jobs to do and there's a point and a reason. And yeah, there's a reason to have money in the bank so that you can pay the mercenaries, and like it's all there. It's just they gotta go and do it, and they gotta stop fighting against the tide. Half of this shit's already made for them in the tabletop, but you gotta do your research.
True.
Like get somebody that knows about the tabletop and ask them. Be like, how did they do that? And they'll tell you, and then you can go ahead and use that system because you own the rights. Like you own the rights. You can do whatever you want with that property. So why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? It makes no sense. Like what made those Marvel movies work? They went back to the comic books and they told the stories that were so awesome. That when they started working, when they stopped rewriting history and they started making movies from the comic books, right? And that's all they got to do. They got to go back and take the thing that was already there and use it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Baron's rant.
That's a good way to take it out.
Oh yeah. See, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I may look unprofessional, but in the end, I'm totally awesome and professional.
Well, that was one heck of a jumbo-ass NSFW podcast, my friend.
I know, it's 84 minutes long. Not bad for a first one, eh?
Yeah, man, we'll have to try to pare him down a little bit in the future, but that was fun.
Yeah, hour and a half. It's the inaugural. It's the first anniversary. First annual.
Yeah,
so we'll see how it goes. If you're listening to this right now, congratulations, you survived through the entire hour and a half. I don't think even either of us... Yeah, I'm surprised neither of us will probably listen to it. I'm going to make Al listen to it and tell me what he thinks about it.
But, yeah, he'll listen to it. He'll check it out.
Oh, he'll totally listen to this and just be like, what the hell are you guys talking about half the time? Be like, words, Al, words. And he'd be like, wait, you guys were talking about me at the end. Be like, no, we weren't. What about another hour? Just go shoot someone in the back.
All right, I'm going to send a brief shout-out to all my guys in the 421st FRR Irregulars. Buster Hyman, all the guys. What the fuck? I'm not going to list everybody. You guys are awesome.
All
I
four
hope
of
you
us.
all enjoyed this, listening to it. Oh, there's a whole pile of us, man. There's a whole bunch of us. But, we don't all play all the time anymore. That's the thing.
True.
Yeah, all the best out there in cyberspace. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll be back again soon with more Mech Warrior. Stomp on.
Yeah, plan is to have this once a month, give or take, depending on how good it is, how popular it gets. The plan is to have it on YouTube. The plan is to have YouTube, podcast app, and aka iTunes, and what was the other one you mentioned? SoundCloud.
Right.
Yeah. So the plan is to hopefully
SoundCloud. We should check out SoundCloud, man.
All right. So the plan is to hopefully have it on all three. With that in mind, thanks for listening and putting up with the two of us. My so wonderful, railroading of sending things into the wrong direction, and Jonas's complete professionalism and respectability.
Fucking right.
And so thanks for listening, and we'll have more in the future, hopefully, if people are listening. So see you guys all, or hopefully you guys hear us, and I don't know how to end this thing. Can you tell?
Baron von Hardcharger signing off.